Let me just say this to Big Tish James, the New York Attorney General. I dare you. I dare you to try to continue your lawfare against President Trump in his second term. Because listen here, sweetheart, we're not messing around this time, and we will put your fat ass in prison for conspiracy against rights. And I promise you that. So think long and hard before you want to violate President Trump's constitutional rights or any other American's constitutional rights. It's not going to happen again.
We've been warning people on the show, Mike. This isn't the same Trump administration. Stop messing around. Don't rig elections. Don't illegally vote. Don't try the funny business, because we know the team this time and they are not effing around.
As you can see, the more you fuck around, the more you're going to find out.
I cannot believe that Mike Davis just said that. It was offensive. It was degrading. It was beneath him, because if you go around saying that Letitia James has a fat booty, she might take it the wrong way. She might think that you mean it as a good thing. Like, hey girl, you got a fat booty, like PHAT fat. Because the next thing you know, she'll be upside down twerking like Senator Mack.
Vote Senator Mack.
Trump ally who could be AG warns New York's Letitia James to back off president-elect. We will put your fat behind in prison. Davis, who has been floated as a possible Trump pick for Attorney General or White House counsel in his incoming administration, urged the New York AG to think long and hard before potentially violating the president-elect's constitutional rights or any other American's constitutional rights. The former chief counsel for nominations to Senate Judiciary Committee Chairman Chuck Grassley argued that James would be in violation of 18 U.S.C. 241, conspiracy against rights, if she continues to go after her political enemies. The day after Trump defeated Kamala Harris in the presidential election, James, 66, threatened to use the rule of law to fight back against the future administration, noting that her office has been preparing for several months to counter Trump's ascendance. James won a $454 million civil fraud judgment against Trump, age 78, earlier this year after accusing the real estate magnate of inflating his net worth by billions of dollars to get better loan and insurance terms. Trump has appealed the ruling. Of course, he appealed the ruling because he was doing nothing wrong. They weaponized the judicial system against him. They were claiming fraud in a situation where no one was defrauded. You were looking at a situation with two sophisticated parties. Trump took out loans. The banks were happy with the terms of the loans. Everything was paid back. Everyone made money and they were happy. And the banks continued to want to work with Trump. The banks continued to actively court him to continue to do business with him. Didn't do anything any differently than any other real estate mogul or business tycoon does. So it's one thing if you want to go after all of them for not doing anything wrong, but when you only go after one person using statutes that aren't for what he did in the first place, then it becomes obvious to everyone that this is nothing but lawfare. Trump dotted all his I's, he crossed all his T's, he had all of the disclaimers in there because he's not running some sort of fly-by-night operation. All of his paperwork was gone over a million times by lawyers. Everything in there said, hey, these are our numbers, but they could be off. Make sure you do your own diligence. Once again, he wasn't peddling something to an 80-year-old widow. Like I said before, these are sophisticated parties. He had all of the legal disclaimers that he needed that are standard for that line of business. And they just came in and made things up to punish him. I can imagine that the Trump 47 Justice Department is not going to have any patience for this Democrat lawfare over the next 4 years, Davis said in an interview with Newsmax. Here's what she said that got this whole thing started.
We've studied their platforms. We've identified certain possibilities, fact patterns. We've created contingency plans. So no matter what the next administration throws at us, we're ready. We're ready to respond to their attacks. We're ready to respond to any attempts to cut or eliminate any funding to the great state of New York, as the governor outlined. So despite what has happened on the national stage, we will continue to stand tall in the face of injustice, revenge, or retribution. We will continue to protect our most vulnerable and marginalized amongst us, because it is my sworn duty and responsibility to lead that fight, working with the governor of this great state, Kathy Hochul. This is not the time to be fearful, New York, but faithful and steadfast, knowing that I, as the Attorney General, along with my entire team, we are guardians of the law, and we are prepared, my friends, to fight back. Thank you.
Talk about heavy-handed, or maybe just heavy. Well, if you were ever wondering what false vibrato looks like, that was it. Oh, this woman is clearly running scared. I'm going to guess she's not going to get another wink of sleep for the next 4 years. You know, they say if you shoot at the king, you better not miss. As you all know, they missed. Oh, I am excited, folks. I am excited. I want the revenge. I want the retribution, because we cannot allow these people to do this. If they can make up a bunch of fake claims and go after a former president who is a billionaire, then just think about what they can do to you. Big Tishy is rotten to the core. Looks like the scales of justice aren't the only scales Big Tishy's been ignoring. I gotta tell you though, the best days are yet to come. And I think now though, I gotta run out and get myself some more champagne, because I am out. I'll have to keep champagne on ice over here, because I don't think I'm gonna get tired of winning.